Hello everyone, you are once again welcome back to Abdullah 360 channel. In today's video, we are going to look at emotional breakdown and the effect that it has on an individual and how to overcome it. By so doing, moving forward, we'll look at emotional intelligence and how important it is to you as an individual or to you as a student. Don't forget to drop your comments at the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, and if you are new here, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and don't forget to hit on the notification bell to get notified for subsequent content to come. Keep supporting Abdullah 360 channel. Let's explore, entertain, have fun, and also learn together. Here we go. So the question is, why emotional breakdown? This is because day in, day out, to you as a student or as an individual, we encounter so many things. We come across adversities, we encounter difficulties, challenges, and there are obstacles also on our way, and this affects us so greatly. And how do we overcome this? We can overcome this by developing or cultivating a sense of emotional intelligence to be able to navigate our way through all these things that we are facing. It might be, family issues, it can be relationship issues, it can be friendship, like close friends that are around you, it can be friendship issues as well, academics issues, academic stress, and overloaded curriculum. There are so many factors that comes in play when it has to do with our emotional breakdown. Guess what? Today I have a very good idea for you. By watching this video, we will be able to navigate our way through and everything will be fine. Let's stay tuned and get ready and let's dive into the main concept itself. We are going to enjoy this content. Stay tuned. So now, when we say emotional breakdown, what do we mean? Emotional breakdown, it occurs when an individual becomes overwhelmed with their emotions, leading to loss of emotional control and stability. This is why, because there are some certain instances where something happens to you as an individual, and at that very moment you have no option than to react to whatever that it comes from. It might be negative and it can also be positive. This is because as a person or as an individual, we respond to our stimulus, and whatever that happened to you, instantly you are going to react without thinking or without considering what is the best way or what is the best approach to be able to ensure that you do not do something that we might regret later, or it will affect us so greatly moving forward. So all what we need at this moment or at this juncture is emotional intelligence. With emotional intelligence, we'll be able to navigate our way through, and we'll be able to think properly before we react to our emotions or whatever that we encounter in life. So the best approach to this is by cultivating a sense of emotional intelligence. With emotional intelligence, it will help you, the individual, to make rational decisions. It will help you to also think before you react as well. It will help you to make the best decision out of it. Because we encounter so many things day in, day out, and without emotional intelligence, we will do things that might affect us moving forward. So we should be able to control our emotions by using emotional intelligence. And here we are going to dive much into what emotional intelligence is about and how important is it to you as an individual or to you as a student. When we say emotional intelligence, what do we mean? Emotional intelligence, it has to do with the capacity to recognize, understand, and manage your own emotions as well as being able to understand, recognize, and influence the emotions of other people as well. So that is to say that the ability to identify your own emotions, your ability to manage your own emotions, and your ability to identify other people's emotions also. So with this clear explanation, we realize that emotional intelligence is not limited to oneself. It goes beyond oneself to also include those people that are around us. Now, there's this aspect we call emotional hijack or emotional hijacking. Other people call it emotional amygdala. When an individual experiences emotional hijack, their brain's emotions override their rational thinking, and this can occur due to various factors such as stress, fear, trauma, emotional triggers, and many more. Now, let's elaborate on some of these factors that we just mentioned. The first factor we'll look at is stress. With stress, overwhelming situations can trigger our emotional hijack. Let's look at some clear or few examples under this factor. For instance, as a university student, we are on campus here, we indulge in so many activities, we attend lectures, we try to submit assignments to meet deadlines, we attend religious activities, we engage in so many things. We attend seminars, programs, and other stuff. We try to combine everything one at a time. And sometimes, because of the stress involved, it can go a long way to affect us emotionally. That is why we sometimes feel like giving up or something. We feel like, no, this is difficult for me. Yes, and we feel like giving up. Because of the stress involved, it can also affect our emotional hijack as well. Yes. And the second example we'll consider is, let's go back to the SHS level. At SHS, you are offering or you are doing so many subjects. Yes, and if you check very well, you realize that the curriculum is overloaded. To you as an individual student, you are doing so many things, and you as an individual student, you are expected to learn very well, and you should be able to pass your core subjects and your electives. So at the SHS level as well, we feel like there is a bit kind of stress in that. This also affects us so greatly if care is not taken because of the stress involved, and it's also one of the key examples of this emotional hijack that we are talking about under the stress factor. And the next example to consider is relationship issues. Yes, it's also one of the factors under this stress factor. Once you an individual, you are in a kind of relationship that is toxic, or you are in a relationship that is not healthy, I think with the issues coming out, it can affect you emotionally. Yes, it can affect you emotionally, and you can do things as far as your partner continues to stress you in one way or the other. It can make you take impulsive decisions, or you will not even consider yourself before doing any other thing, irrational thinking, and this can lead to potentially harmful consequences on the way. Then our next factor to look at is fear. Fearful thoughts can activate your amygdala, which can actually lead to emotional hijack. For instance, let's look at some examples. As a university student, maybe level 100, you just came to school or you just reported, and you haven't written your exams yet, and when exams is approaching, how maybe level 200, 300, those people that you met here, how they explain things to you, for instance at KNUST here, how the exam situation is and how the invigilators and the student go about it is actually a serious deal. And if care is not taken, you might develop a kind of fear in you, having the self-doubt that, oh, can I actually, or can I really do this? Yes, you can imagine people writing an examination under CCTV cameras, and they are still invigilators moving around, and you can imagine how this situation will be. So if you are the kind of individual that don't have the self-confidence, self-affirmative, and you keep doubting yourself, this can affect your emotional intelligence. Yes, so as a result of this emotional hijack, it can go a long way to affect you as a student. So we should develop a kind of self-confidence in us. No matter the situation, no matter the situation, every problem has a solution. No matter the situation, we should be able to navigate our way throughout, to able to enhance our self development. Whatever that we are doing, we should be passionate about it, and we should have the self-affirmative with positive mindset that this thing I'm going to do it and do it very well. After all, this is not the first examination that you are writing. Let's go back to SHS. At SHS level, WAEC is fast approaching, and you feel like, oh, your past seniors will tell you how the experience was, the cons and the pros of it. So you will feel like, can I actually also do this? At that moment, if care is not taken, you can develop a sense of self-doubt, and you won't have the self-confidence in you to go and write the exams and excel very well. And once we are mindful of some of this, I think it will help us in our academics and in our endeavors or whatever that we are trying to achieve in life. So that's a clear example. If you are going to write WAEC, you feel like it's difficult, you can't pass, and because how the exam situation is, there are invigilators going around, and if care is not taken, you can be taken on with all that factors. I think so with this, it will help us to develop a positive mindset to go and write our exams and ace very well. Another clear example under this factor, which is fear, is that, for instance, maybe in a mischievous way, you and your friends, sometimes your friends you can be playing, and or some of your friends might try to prank you in a harsh situation. So one of your friends can hide at a corner. When you are coming, he will just do hey, and at that moment, if care is not taken, you can it will activate your amygdala. Yes, it will activate your amygdala, leading to emotional hijack. So that's why sometimes some of your close friends, like every day you vibe, the vibe is there, like you talk, you sit down, you chat, you talk about important issue, you smile, you laugh together, do everything. There's a kind of rapport relationship between you people, and the kind of relationship you build around you with your colleagues, I think is unbreakable. But there is a day coming that one of your friends might do you something, and if care is not taken, you can lose it. For instance, hiding at a corner and you are not aware of him, and once you are coming, he will just come at once and scare you, hey, and now like and do something which will activate your amygdala, and at that very moment, if care is not taken, even if it is a bottle you get, you go fit crack the head with some coke bottle. Now the next factor we'll look at is trauma. When it has to do with trauma, our past experiences that we encounter, there is a likelihood of increasing our emotional hijack. There are other people that their past experiences is so involving, some of the difficulties that they went through, some of the obstacles that they are still facing, some of the challenges that they are still facing, or any pains or anything that hurt them at the past. Some other people, even in present day or currently, is still affecting them so greatly. And such people, I think, they actually need help. Yes, they need someone to talk to. They need someone to, help them to see the way forward, to also bring themselves together, or they need maybe a counseling unit or something like that. Yes, you go for guidance and counseling service, or maybe a psychologist to also counsel you, and I think this will help us a whole lot because of our past experiences and how horrible and how involving it was. Even in our present day or our current days, it can also be affecting you so greatly as an individual or a student. Then the last factor we'll consider is emotional triggers. Emotional triggers, certain words or situations can trigger our emotional hijack. For instance, let's look at some clear examples. You are with your friends or anybody at all. Someone insults you in a particular way which you are not even comfortable, or someone just did something to you and instantly you can react to that person without thinking or considering what is the best approach for this. So someone can just insult you and at that moment you will react. Maybe you slap the person or something like that. So we have clear examples all over, and day in day out we encounter such things. Yes, and by so doing, we can, with emotional intelligence, I think we can have a self-control with this. Yes, once we are able to know the what is in between, like with these scenarios that I'm giving. Because with regards to emotional intelligence, we have something we call stimulus, and we have reaction at the right hand side. So stimulus and reaction. So with the stimulus, when something happened at that instant with the stimulus, you the individual, because we are human beings, you react to it. And with the reaction, it comes with how you react to it. Yes, for instance, someone step on your toe and someone did something wrong with you. So or someone did something to you and you can slap the person at that moment. This is the stimulus and with the reaction that it comes with. So in between the stimulus and the reaction, you as an individual who want to cultivate a sense of emotional intelligence. So with the reaction and the no with the stimulus and the reaction, there is something in between that we can also put, which is what we call choice. There is choice in between. So stimulus, choice in between, and reaction. So once something happened to you or someone did something to you as an individual, that's the stimulus. Definitely your stimulus will rise, and this can activate your emotional amygdala. Your emotional amygdala will rise, and this can lead to emotional hijack, and instantly you can react to that person either positively or negatively depending on what the person did to you. Now let's look at the 5 components of emotional intelligence. The first one is self-awareness. The second is self-regulation. The third one is motivation. The fourth one is empathy. And the last one is social skills. Now get ready and let's elaborate on these 5 key components of emotional intelligence. With the self-awareness, it has to do with you, the individual, examining yourself, having self-reflections, and knowing who you are, where you are going, and how you even get there. That's self-awareness to you as an individual. With self-awareness, it will help you build a kind of self-confidence in you. And by building your self-confidence, this will enhance self-efficacy as well. So self-awareness as the first key component is very, very important to you as a student or as an individual. The next key component to look at is self-regulation. It has to do with controlling and managing your own emotions, impulses, and behavior. Self-regulation, we should be able to regulate our emotions, and I think this will help you as a student or an individual. The third key component we'll consider is motivation. So as a student or as an individual, using your emotions to drive motivation to achieve your goals and pursue opportunities. Then the fourth key component is empathy. With empathy, your ability to understand and recognize the emotions of other people and your ability to be able to see things in their perspectives as well. Then the last key component we'll consider is social skills, which is very important to you as a student. With social skills, we should be able to interact and communicate effectively with other people, and we should build a kind of rapport relationship with people around us, that is those within our circle and including those outside the circle. This will help us enhance our emotional well-being in a long run. Now, let's look at some benefits of emotional intelligence. The first thing we'll consider is personal growth. That's the first benefit. That is taking us back to some of the key components that we mentioned. That is self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, social skills, among others. So with this, as an individual, once we cultivate ourselves into some of these key components, it will help us a whole lot. It will help us a whole lot. That is within ourselves and also with those people around us. It will help us build our self-confidence very well. Then the second important thing we'll look at is it helps us build our relationships. As far as emotional intelligence is concerned, you as an individual or as a student, it will help you build a rapport relationship between you and those people around you, with your colleagues, course mates, program mates, hostel mates, and some of the friends that you are vibing with. With emotional intelligence, you'll be able to maintain a kind of rapport relationship, and your friendship will be a type of friendship that will last a little bit longer or longer as well. So that is to say that with the aid of emotional intelligence, it will help you improve relationships. Yes, it can be like any relationship at all, whether with regards to family or relative relationship, whether it has to do with a partner relationship or another just friendship keke, this normal friendship that we are in, or those people that we encounter day in day out, because we have different types of relationships, and we have permanent relationships, which is maybe with your family members, your relatives, your parents. It's a clear example of permanent relationship. And another type of relationship we have is temporal relationship. So with temporal relationship, these are people that we just meet on our way and shortly we will be done with them. For instance, as a student, you are at the university learning, your course mates, your program mates, your hostel mates, those people that you study with, you do teamwork together, you do group assignment together. So these are people that you just met at the university here, and definitely after your completion of your degree program here, which is 4 years, you graduate and you go home, and if possible or fortunately and unfortunately, you might not see some of them again. So this is just a temporary relationship. So wherever we find ourselves, we should be able to build that kind of rapport relationship with other people. That is why sometimes you complete school and some years coming, you go and meet your course mates, your program mates. They might be of help to you if we don't know. That's why sometimes you'll be looking for an employment and you badge into the organization, and guess what? Your course mate is there, or your hostel mate or something. So depending on how we treat people that we meet on our way. So this is a kind of temporary relationship. Even though it's a temporary one, but we should be able to maintain the momentum. We should be able to build a kind of strong relationship and make people feel comfortable around us. Definitely we should have it in mind that one day they can help you as well. We should not treat them in a particular way that one day we might see them somewhere or somewhere else and we'll find it difficult to approach them for their help. So the third important thing to consider is better decision making. With emotional intelligence, once we cultivate a sense of using emotional intelligence, it will help us make better decisions, and that has to do with devoid of impulsive decisions and even irrational thinking as well. Yes, this is the benefit. It will help us to make better decisions. So with the decision, that is where I spoke about this concept where we have stimulus and reaction, and between the stimulus and the reaction we should have a choice at the middle. So that's the decision making aspect. So once there's stimulus and something happens, then before we react, there's a choice in the middle. We should take a pause and we'll think very well to see the best approach that we can use to approach it. But depending on the situation, depending on what the person has done to you, or depending on what happens, it also triggers the response or the reaction that you give to it. Someone is there, if that person don't cultivate a sense of emotional intelligence, once something happens, then the person is reacting, and that is where it's common to see people reacting in a particular way instantly once something happens. Maybe something just happened and instantly the person just slapped you. So that's what we are talking about. If the person was having or practicing emotional intelligence, it won't happen that way, because we know that definitely things might happen. And once it happened that way, we should take a pause and look at the best approach to it before we react. When we are doing that way, it will help us build a very strong relationship with other people and those people around us as well. And the last important thing to look at, it will help us increase our resilience, most especially to we as students, because we encounter so many things, so many challenges, difficulties, obstacles on our way, so many adversities. Day in, day out, we encounter so many things as an individual or as a student. And with the help of emotional intelligence, we'll be able to navigate our way through. And through self-efficacy, we'll be able, no matter the situation that in which you are in, you'll be able to find solutions to that. Alright, thank you very much. So now this is the end of our conversation, and let me just conclude everything here. So with what we just discussed today, emotional breakdown, and we came down to also elaborate on emotional intelligence. And I think as an individual or as a student, once we put ourselves into these things that we just discussed today, it will help us both emotionally and academically. Most people or most leaders that we are seeing today, or most people top out there now, or most big people at organizations and everywhere, they use emotional intelligence. Without emotional intelligence, it will be difficult. Let's look at leadership. Those people leading us, our ministers, our MPs, our presidents, sometimes they need to use emotional intelligence to be able to man the affairs of their people very well, because a whole lot of issues coming up. Yes, we the citizens, sometimes you do something, for instance, in Ghana here, yes, it's a clear example how we behave towards our leaders in Ghana here and how things are going. It's a clear example, and sometimes without emotional intelligence, I think this will cause a whole lot of chaos in the country. And people at organizations, managers, CEOs, they are dealing with their employees, and sometimes they need to develop a sense of they need to develop a sense of emotional intelligence to be able to run the company very well. Without this, I think things can go wayward or something. Yes, with emotional intelligence, you'll be able to do things at the right way. Once something happens, you take your time, make the best decision, then you find the best approach to it. And also to as students, as a student, once you develop a sense of emotional intelligence, it will help you in your academics, your relationship with people, everything. Yes, it will help you enhance your emotional well-being, to give you peace of mind, to learn and to believe in yourself, build your self-confidence, to enhance your self-efficacy, and a whole lot. So we can't say everything today. So as a student, it's all about balancing. Yes, and this is another topic that we'll discuss in subsequent content to come. It's all about balancing. So university life is all about balancing, because a whole lot of issues are happening here, and the best approach to it is all about balancing. You can't focus on one thing and leave the other. For instance, you can't just focus on studies and leave other extracurricular activities that can help your personal development. Or you can't just focus on other extracurricular activities and leave your academic aspects, because this will affect you. So you need to be at the middle. You need to be balanced in whatever that you are doing. Let's look at our teachers or lecturers. They are dealing with students, right? And what they need sometimes is emotional intelligence. We do a whole lot of things. Sometimes to the extent that how we students behave and other stuff, our lecturers, our teachers, they are not comfortable with that. Because we as students, we can do a whole lot of mistakes, and sometimes those people teaching us, they are not comfortable with our behavior and how indisciplined we are. But with emotional intelligence, they are able to understand, and I think they will pardon us to know that no, this is what is happening and this is the best approach to it. If not that, for instance, at the university here, once you in a lecture room, you the student, you did something and the lecturer is not happy, he can decide to murder all of you, because in the university here, your destinies, our destinies is in their hands, you know. Yeah, because when you write the exam, he's going to mark it and give you the score according to your index numbers. He can decide to trail all of you in the class because you've done something. That is why it's important to use emotional intelligence. So by emotional intelligence, now we realize that in a lecture room situation, once that kind of thing happen between a lecturer and student, and maybe the lecturer is not comfortable with that, maybe after the lectures, you the students together with your course reps, they can lead you to the lecturer office, then you go and plead so that the lecturer will calm down and whatever it is, the case will be settled. And this is an aspect of emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is quite open, baby. It's too much. So when we are using emotional intelligence, it will help us a whole lot. Let's look at relationship side. Even if you are in a relationship, for instance, those people that are legally married, let's say couples, right? Yes, a husband and a wife. I think you need emotional intelligence to be able to sustain your marriage for a very long time. Seriously, you need emotional intelligence, because when it has to do with marriage, a whole lot of issues are coming in, and I think without emotional intelligence, you won't be able to condone whatever it is. And that is why other people are able to sustain their marriage up to some level, 35 years, 40 years, 50 years of marriage, and their marriage is still intact. There's nothing wrong with that. All because they are using what? Emotional intelligence. Because definitely many things will happen, and they use the best approach to resolve their issues and their marriage issues as well. So a whole lot, those people leading us in our community, our chiefs, they also use emotional intelligence. And our parents, those people taking care of us, we as children, we do things, so many things that our parents are not even comfortable with. You even think that once you are even coming to school, they will even stop, giving, maybe paying your fees and paying like your tuition fees and whatever. Yes, but because of the relationship that you have between you and your parents, and with the help of emotional intelligence, they will let it go and they will still support you, your education. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you find this informative and insightful, don't forget to drop a comment at the comment section below. Don't forget to like and share as well. And if you are new here, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to hit on the notification bell to get notified for subsequent content to come. Abdullah 360 here, and thank you very much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.